who is with us live. First of all, if the FAR's report is accurate and Israel nearly took out the president and the top leadership as well, what does that really say about the vulnerability of Iran's most secure military infrastructure?
Well, we must appreciate that Iran regime has been threatening the Israelis for the last 46 years now, in its 47th year. And the Israelis have been infiltrating the whole Iranian regime system for the last 46 years. They haven't been sitting idle doing nothing, but they've been working on this. And this is normal. Even if you take the B-2 bombers, US, it took 20 years of preparation. So this idea of infiltrating Iranian system happened like last couple of years. No, it's been happening for the last 46 years. So, and Israelis are very good at it.
Now, it has been touted that it's likely Israel had some help on the inside, that they had access to real-time data and intelligence on the whereabouts of these top Iranian leaders. So we're looking at some deep infiltration here. Is that legitimate? Is that a real cause for concern?
Well, there have been some reports out, and these reports have been out, that a lot of people who've been cooperating with the Israelis were volunteers. And Israelis have actually said that majority of attacks were from inside Iran. And also they've mentioned that these people were mostly volunteers helping them. And also they've mentioned that the cost of operation inside Iran has been very little. It's not been much.
If it's true, so if there is an infiltration, given the scale of this security breach that we may have seen, is it possible to say that Tehran may have lost its grip on the internal control, especially within the IRGC?
Well, we see it every day. First of all, there is this philosophy that a weak Iran reduces tension in the region. So it's a good thing. So everybody, whether Iranians inside Iran or people outside of Iran, want a weak regime. And right now, the idea of regime change is not on the cards, because the way we see it is that the Iranian people have been exhausted emotionally and financially for the last 46 years. They know how to hate the regime, but they don't know how to release themselves. So their policy now is to make the Iran regime as weak as possible. That's why we see targeted attacks every day. And these targeted attacks could not have happened without cooperation from Iranians within Iran.
Babak, President Pezeshkian is still relatively new in office. He's been there since 30th of July 2024, so it's just over a year. An incident like this, is it likely to weaken his standing with the Revolutionary Guard, or does it actually rally some support? Does it see him as a survivor, somewhat of a martyr?
Well, during the last year election, according to the regime, something nearly 40% turned up. Usually whatever the regime says, if it is good news, you have to divide it by 2. If it is bad news, you have to multiply it by 2. So if they say 40%, I can assure you only 20% turned up. And out of the 20%, only 10% voted for him. So this idea that this is a popular president, and morally, he is not a capable man either. He's not a natural leader. He hasn't done much anyway. He's been subordinate to the supreme leader. So it doesn't make any difference. He's not here or nor there. He's nobody.
So you think he's not a key player, he's not enough of a key player for this to really make any difference to people on the ground, and you really don't think that it's going to make any difference to Iranians on the ground? They don't mind, they don't care about this?
Well, the policy of Iran regime has been to have no peace, no war, keep it at that stage, and have a form of diplomatic relationship. So keep it at no peace, no war. Now we've gone from that phase to war. We are at war phase. And they have no plan for war phase. And they have no plan for peace either. So whoever is in charge has no plan either for peace or war. And right now, they want to revert it back to diplomatic phase, but it's not possible. Once you go into the war phase, it is very difficult to revert it back into diplomatic phase, as we see in Ukraine war.
Babak, I guess, as you say, no war, but also no peace. But we have seen deterrence, I think, has been the key message that we've seen from Iran through the last couple of weeks and months. Is that likely to become more aggressive now? Do you think that they may be more retaliation back? Or are they weakened because the surprise attack really did take them out?
Obviously, they are weakened. And all these attacks, daily attacks, the regime does not bother to even report them because they have no way or no ability to respond to them. The only thing regime has is propaganda. I mean, they have nothing but propaganda right now to respond.
And is the feeling on the ground that this is propaganda, is that being felt by the public? Or do you think that the propaganda is perhaps even working?
Well, again, there are two groups of people. One group, they say that we have no plan for peace, so let's commit us to war. The other, they say we would be destroyed by continuing this war. We have no way we could win or sustain or survive this war. So let's revert back somehow to the diplomatic phase. So there is that tension, that power struggle, that two groups within the regime right now fighting for those two goals, different goals.
Babak Emamian, thank you so much for chatting to us today. Appreciate it.